As Finn, Eric, Tilly, and Rusty journeyed back from the Whispering Woods, a sense of newfound strength filled the air around them. They had secured the Crystal of Harmony, and the power it held radiated with a gentle warmth, filling them with hope. But there was no time for rest. The shadow that threatened Arendor was still lurking, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Their next destination lay in the Sacred Peaks, a series of ancient mountains where, according to the Guardian's whispers, they would find an elder mage known as the Sage of the Peaks. It was said that this wise sage held knowledge that could guide them in wielding the stone's power against the darkness. As they approached the foot of the mountain, they noticed how the air seemed to buzz with energy, and an ethereal mist cloaked the peaks in an almost otherworldly glow. The forest had gradually faded away, replaced by rugged terrain and steep cliffs covered with moss and ancient runes carved into the stone. "Do you think the sage will be willing to help us?" Finn asked, looking up at the towering mountains. Tilly, fluttering near his shoulder, chimed in, "Sages are known to be a bit unpredictable. But if anyone knows how to unlock the full power of the stones, it's the Sage of the Peaks." Eric adjusted his pack and nodded in agreement. "If we're going to face this darkness, we'll need every advantage we can get. Let's go find this sage." The path leading up the mountain was treacherous. Sharp rocks jutted from the ground, and narrow ledges wound along the cliff faces, each step more precarious than the last. Rusty trotted along beside them, his keen senses alert as they navigated the steep climb. As they reached a plateau halfway up, a chilling wind howled through the rocks, making Finn shiver. Tilly's wings glowed brighter as she pressed forward. "Keep moving, everyone. The peak isn't too far now," she encouraged. But just as they were catching their breath, the ground trembled, and a low rumbling filled the air. From the shadows of the cliffs emerged a large, hulking figure with rock-like skin and eyes that glowed with an unnatural fire. The creature's fists were clenched, and it snarled as it stomped toward them, blocking their path. "Who dares to trespass on the sacred peaks?" the creature bellowed, its voice echoing through the mountains. "None may pass without proving their worth." Finn felt a jolt of fear but steeled himself. "We come seeking the Sage of the Peaks. We mean no harm, only guidance." The creature narrowed its fiery eyes, studying each of them carefully. "Only the purest of heart and the bravest in spirit may stand before the sage. I am Grom, Guardian of the Peaks. If you wish to pass, you must face the Trial of Stones." "What's the Trial of Stones?" Eric asked, tightening his grip on his sword. Grom let out a deep, rumbling laugh. "You will know soon enough. Follow me." They followed Grom along a narrow ledge, feeling the chill in the air grow more intense. The ledge opened up into a wide, flat expanse of rock overlooking the valley below. In the center of the plateau, a series of large stones were arranged in a circle, each one marked with strange symbols that glowed faintly in the dim light. "Your task is simple," Grom explained. "In this circle lie stones that hold the essence of the elements. You must each choose a stone and withstand its power. Only then will you be deemed worthy." The friends exchanged nervous glances. Finn stepped forward, his heart pounding as he surveyed the stones. "We're ready," he said, his voice strong. Eric went first, choosing a stone with the symbol of a flame. The moment his hand touched it, the stone erupted into a fierce fire, engulfing him in flames. But Eric remained calm, summoning the courage within him to embrace the heat. He closed his eyes, letting the fire wash over him until slowly it died down. When he opened his eyes, he was unharmed. Tilly chose a stone marked with a feather, symbolizing wind. As soon as she touched it, a powerful gust swept her off her feet, swirling around her in a mini tornado. She laughed as the wind whipped around her, using her wings to stabilize herself, and after a few moments, the gust subsided. Rusty went next, choosing a stone marked with waves. A rush of water erupted from the stone, swirling around him. Rusty barked in surprise but quickly found his footing, paddling through the water with ease. He seemed almost to dance within the waves until the water faded. Finally, Finn approached the stone marked with an intricate pattern of roots. He placed his hand on it, and vines erupted from the ground, wrapping around his arms and legs. They tightened, testing his resolve, but he stood firm, feeling a deep connection to the earth beneath him. As he steadied himself, the vines loosened and receded into the ground. Grom watched them, his eyes filled with respect. You have each passed the trial of stones. The sage of the peaks awaits you. With Grom leading the way, they continued their ascent, finally reaching a small cave nestled near the peak. A warm light emanated from within, and they could hear a soft chanting, like the hum of ancient magic. Inside, an elderly figure sat cross-legged, wrapped in robes that shimmered like starlight. The sage's eyes were closed, but as they entered, he looked up, his gaze piercing yet kind. "Welcome, travelers," he said, his voice soft yet powerful. "I have been expecting you." Finn, feeling awestruck, stepped forward. "We seek your guidance. We hold the stones, but we don't know how to fully use them against the darkness that threatens Erendor." The sage nodded, motioning for them to sit. "The stones you carry are ancient, each bound to an elemental spirit of the land. But to wield them properly, you must attune yourselves to their essence." The sage held out his hand, and each of their stones floated into the air, glowing brightly. Your courage, your unity, and your compassion are the keys to unlocking their full potential. But you must also face your own fears, for the stones reflect the soul of their bearer. He placed the stones gently on the ground before them. "Tonight you will meditate with the stones, and they will reveal their secrets to you. But be warned, the visions they show may not be pleasant. Only those who confront their deepest fears may master the stones." The friends exchanged uneasy glances but nodded in agreement. As night fell, they each took a stone and sat in silence, focusing their minds as the sage had instructed. Finn closed his eyes, holding the stone of the earth tightly. Almost immediately, he was plunged into a vision of darkness, facing his fears of failure, of letting down his friends and his family. He saw himself standing alone, surrounded by shadows. But then he felt the warmth of the earth beneath him, grounding him, reminding him that he was never truly alone. Eric's vision was filled with flames, testing his courage and resilience. Tilly was swept up in a whirlwind, confronting her fear of being lost. Rusty found himself engulfed in water, facing the unknown, but his loyalty to Finn anchored him, giving him strength. The night passed, and when they opened their eyes, each of them felt different, stronger, more attuned to the power of the stones. The sage smiled, a look of approval in his wise eyes. "You have done well," he said. "The power of the stones flows through you now. But remember, the greatest strength comes not from magic alone, but from the bonds you share." As they prepared to leave, the sage gave them a parting gift, a small, carved amulet. "This will help you channel the stone's energy in times of need. May it guide you on your journey." They thanked the sage, filled with gratitude and renewed purpose. With the stones attuned to their spirits, they felt ready to face whatever darkness lay ahead. With their hearts full of hope, Finn, Eric, Tilly, and Rusty began their descent from the sacred peaks, ready to continue their journey to save Erendor.